PP.
Ajahn P is back.
All right.
Wow, very excited. Excited now, guys. The music now. Okay.
So we are waiting for our chair, right?
Our chair is here now. Ajahn Gop is here.
No,
really,
the chair is Ajahn Pirasakค่ะ
No, I mean,
Oh, really?
I mean, Dr. Sirinthorn. I
The
can't see
advisor.
her. I can't
The
see her
advisor
on.
is also here.
Yeah, she's here.
Ajahn S is here.
Pirasak.
Okay, she's here. Okay, about 8, I think.
I can't see chair of the school on my screen. Ajahn Ed ครับ Ajahn Ed, where are you? Oh, okay. So I just realized a few minutes ago that I share this committee. It has been how long? How long did you pass the Viva, the proposal defense? A year?
A year, yes. Last time for a year, already more than a year. Longer. Spend a lot of time writing.
1.5, I think.
Okay, so since everyone is here, so I think everyone has already got the last presentation and video, and all the members have watched the video presentation already. So I think we just skip through that part. Okay, so we just go straight to the Viva, and I think I think I also would like to skip the part of asking La to leave the room and getting the members to talk. Okay, because I think as we go along the process, move along the process, then we can ask and give comments to La. Okay, so welcome. I would like to first thank our external examiner, Dr. Navamin, who also help us in many committees. Okay, and welcome. Okay, although not welcome to SUT, but welcome to this Viva, Dr. Navamin ครับ
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
the chairman. Like I saw, right? I want to ask you the first question, general question first. Is it?
Yes, go ahead ครับ Dr. Navamin ครับ
Okay. Like I saw, what okay, it's very good one. Okay, for your research work. Okay, you have done very well, and then spend more time. I think more than 1 year. Just I remember. For conducting the research after the proposal defense. And then I would like to ask you one question for general one. What did you get from your research work?
Wow, I learned a lot of things from here, Ajahn. First, what I get, I learned the skills how to design the curriculum, especially designing this package. Yes, and I also learned to be the trainer too. It's all new for me. Yeah, I train the teachers here, but not really the training the in-service teacher here is the first time. So I learned the way to design the package, and I learned the way to implement it, like train the in-service teachers. Also, do I answer your question, Ajahn?
Yes, right. Okay, thank you. Okay, I do hope that you can bring OBAs, okay, in improving the English language teaching in Laos, and then can be the good trainers, right? To give you or to expand about your knowledge from your research work okay, to the English teacher who don't have the opportunity to bring the knowledge, especially in the rural area, especially in Savannaket province, okay, to improve their students in terms of English language. Right. Okay.
Also, Ajahn, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dawamin, for the general comment. Okay. I would like to divide this Viva into two big sections. Okay. The first section, the first part, I would like to deal with the first 3 chapters. I know that the proposal has already, but I think there are still some modifications to be made. Okay, so the first round, first part, I would like to ask the committee members to question or to give comments on the first 3 chapters, and I think I would like to invite our external examiner, Dr. Nawamin, to start the commenting or questioning ครับ Dr. Nawamin ครับ
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I have about not more than 5 questions for chapter 1 to chapter 3. Okay.
ครับมนว่าไง
Much right for your
ได้มนพร้อมกันเลยนะโอเค
Hello. Can I go on?
yes that's the one mean ครับ yes please
Okay, for chapter 1, okay, I know the situation I really want to add more. It's about the importance of secondary school teachers, right? Because you want to improve the teachers, right?
Yes.
English teacher, English teacher or in-service teacher is a keystone, key person who can bring your innovation to teach. And then I would like you to put here in somewhere, maybe when you talk about rationale, right, about the importance of the in-service teacher, right? Why are they important? Okay, in terms of to improve the students' English ability. And the second one that I would like to see about the OBAs, the importance of OBA, right? How can it help improve English language competency of the learners, right? So please put in somewhere, okay, and then to support by the theories or the scholar or the previous work, okay? So you can bring some from chapter 5 when you discuss, okay, your findings here. And then the things, the next one, okay, that I would like you to be careful when you write, because I saw the difference that you use A and B. For example, on page 4, when you talk about Suwannasi, right? You use 2008 A, B, or Surya Wongsa et al. 2013 and B. When I go to the differences, I cannot see, right? So it's not just only in chapter 1, but as well as in chapter 2 and chapter 5, when you make the discussion, you use A and B, right? But to take a look, if you just like this one, you have to put in differences, right? And about something here, when you put in chapter 1 on page 9, can you take a look page 9? when you mention about purposes of the research, you use Kirkpatrick 1994 evaluation model, and then you use figure 3, page 20. Is it in your work or in Kirkpatrick's 1994? Because when I go to page 20, I cannot see the figure 3 right here.
Oh, yeah. I don't quite understand. From page 9, yes. Then what
Yes.
page? I cannot get.
When you refer to Kirkpatrick 1994 evaluation model, and then you use figure 3, page 21, under 1.5, can you see?
Okay, yes, I can see that.
Okay, what do you mean by figure 3, page 21, in your work or in?
It is in my work. I adapted. Yes, I
Oh.
use this model as the model for evaluating the training result. It is what I evaluate in page 21.
But I cannot see figure 3, right? Figure 3, because you just mentioned, okay, Kirkpatrick level 1, level 2, 3, 4. Okay, something like that. So maybe on page 21, you have to, what is it, to put it as a figure, right? Maybe
Oh, yes, thank you.
table or something like that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Pirapasak,
Yes.
because I have many questions in chapter 3, so can I stop for a while for chapter 1?
So you'd like to other members, committee members to give comments, feedbacks, right?
They are in chapter 1 and 2, right? Because I have many questions in chapter 3.
Okay, okay, ครับ
Yes,
Dr. Nawamian ครับ
Yes, okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn, for coming.
Okay ครับ next I would like to invite Dr. Acharawan ครับ Dr. Acharawan ครับ please regarding chapters 1 to chapter 3 ครับ
Okay. La Kai-son, congratulations on your work. Okay, it's very heavy. It's good. It's very heavy. Okay. Okay. I think I'm not gonna repeat what Ajahn Nawamin mentioned. Okay, in chapter 1, and I agree with that. I would like to maybe ask you to clarify about the term. Okay. I saw that you use a lot of the term behaviors, teacher behaviors. Okay. Right. So so what do you mean by teacher behaviors?
Oh, thank you, Ajahn. The teacher behaviors there, I mean the behaviors of teaching when using OVAs in the classroom, Ajahn.
So, okay, am I right that the teacher behavior is the focus of your observation, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and did you put in your 1.9? Did you put this term in 1.9? I don't think you put that, right? Right? You don't. I think you haven't put the term yet, right?
Okay, thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, I have the problem with the term, this term. Okay.
You put Ajahn.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, when I look at your study, look at the natures of your study, I'm not sure about the other committee members, but I think you are looking how the teacher perform, right?
Yes.
According to your OBA, right? So I just feel like the term behavior for me is if I can choose, I think performance. I prefer to see
The word
you look at the teaching performance or teacher performance, because I feel like behavior is that you're looking, it's kind of cognitively speaking, is like you look at, I don't know, I just feel like it should be you should come with the list of the behavior, right?
Yeah. Actually, if OBA, we should use performance, but I got that from third-party model. They evaluate behaviors. That's why I use. Yes,
Okay.
thank you, Ajahn. I like this too.
So that means when you said behavior, that means performance, right?
Yes. Performance of the teacher or actions of the teachers that happens in the classrooms.
Okay, yeah. So that what really I think is, to me, is problematic when you use the term. Okay, yeah. I have that's all for my chapter 1. I think it's clear for me, and then Ajahn Nawamin also addressed that in a few points. Okay, let me now move to chapter 2. Okay. From my observation, I think you have a lot of figures. You have figure 2. You have almost 26 figures.
A lot, yes.
You have, flip on the page, you have 28 figures. Right? You have 28 figures. And to my surprise, you haven't made use of the figures enough in your discussion.
Oh, yes.
I think may I connect this chapter to when the chapter 5, maybe chapter 4, right? Chapter 5. I would like you to look to check your data in chapter 5, chapter 4, and then when you write your discussions, I would like you to make a connection of the figures, because your thesis is qualitative, by its nature. Okay, so, and it would be, I think your presentation, your report in chapter 5, chapter 4, 5, it would be stronger if you can make a connection of particular figures that relevant, that really connected to your data from your findings. Yeah, because now it's like, I feel like your chapter 4, 5 is kind of the data are there, but you haven't, I think you haven't put it in the right format, put it in the right platform of the presentation. Okay, for example, if you make use of figures, let's see, for example, figure 13, 14, or yeah, very useful to make use of this. For example, like figure 23rd, 23, 24 that you have for that. Yeah, so you got a bunch of everything here, but it seemed like you just review and you just presented the theories, the figures, the table, without making, without making use of that the best. Okay, so my suggestion for you is take benefit, take advantage of the data, the tables, the figure that you have, and present the data in chapter 4 according to the model, and discuss the finding according to the model. This way, you have something. I think you can, make your finding more meaningful and more systematic in terms of theory and in terms of the literature review based on the literature review you have in chapter 2. Okay,
Yes.
so yes, so maybe look at that. And actually, you don't have to present all figures. You can select some figures, and because some is right. To me, is quite some figures are I think redundant. I don't want to say they're redundant, but you can choose some. Yeah, some figure and then make use of that in your chapter 5. Yeah. Turn the qualitative data into some figures, into some tables, and from there you can see you can make the discussion stronger. Yeah, that from my personal preference. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajahn. You mean I want to make sure again, yes. You mean I should connect the finger from the literature review, yes. Then I present the results based on the finger. Maybe use the finger and the information that I get. Then put it there, and then take this part to the discussion again.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, thank you,
Because I think so that we yeah, I think the reader can follow the logic. I mean, easily, right? Because okay, this is what you try to you try to make an argument in chapter 1, and we can see your theory in chapter 2, and according to your data, your finding, we can say, okay, what does it mean? What does your finding mean according to the theory in chapter 2, according to these figures, according to this model, according to this table? So try to make, maybe you have 2 sections, right? You can have the narrative, you can have the description of your finding.
The test can show, can refer to the data that I got, the finger that I got. For example, if design, they use this finger to design, so I can relate the result from that. And maybe some example if on too much, too many.
Yeah, because otherwise your chapter 4 is going to be boring. I mean, because it's going to be like, sorry to say boring. It's not that interesting. You can make it, like I said, stronger and make it more. Grounded in the theories of what you try to present it in your chapter 2, and then you can see maybe your finding might fit in 2 models. Okay, you can present it in 2 models or into tables, that kind of thing. Yeah. Make it more concrete in terms of the illustration of the finding. I think it's going to be now. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave chapter 3 after Ajahn Navamin. Okay, the chair, please. Yes.
Okay, thank you, thank you, Dr. Acharawan. Next, Dr. Gulapa, you have anything to say?
On chapter 1, yes. Page 6. On page 6, research framework number 1, analysis. Lakaison, you finish the sentence with in the figure below, but I cannot find any figure after that.
Oh, sorry, Ajahn.
So I cannot find any figure. So probably you can clarify that.
Sorry, Ajahn.
I think, yeah.
Maybe
So you have to find a figure or delete or refer to some figure in your thesis. All right.
Thank you. Yes, Ajahn. I put this figure in the design, in the methodology part.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
And on page 34, on page 34, paragraph 2.
Yes.
Page 34, paragraph 2. You finished the paragraph with need to be implemented together align. I don't understand this.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the content, the lesson plan, and evaluation or assessment, all of them must be implemented alike. I mean, for example, if you teach this in the content, then when the content is teaching past tense, for example, then the lesson plan you must teach past tense, and the situation you must check past tense. Yes. So this one must be online. It means the same things done in the whole process.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, I understand better. And page 35 in the figure, I think it is just typo. It is just a typo. Page 35 in the figure, the box of number 4, you have 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4. I think that is. I think that is
Do you want me to explain this, Ajahn? Yes.
sorry.
Do you want me to explain this?
No. I mean it is a typo
One,
for your
three,
numbering.
four lah. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have
What?
two up to.
Yeah, you have 2, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4
You have
again.
twice.
Yeah, just a mistake. It's a typo. Yeah,
Oh, thank you. You are very neat.
that's not a big problem. And page 48, also another typo. Page 48, line 2.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Line 2, research 2001.
Oh, Richard 2001.
Yeah, I think that is a typo because the one part of the parenthesis should be before, should be, how can I say, research and then parenthesis 2001. Okay, all right.
You mean the reference that I did it wrong here?
Yeah. And any and I agree with Ajahn Acharawan that the review needs to be more more critical. I would say the review need to be more critical, showing why you did this, why you did that, why you use this model, why you that model, rather than just descriptive. All right. For chapter 2, I think you should be more critical of what you are reviewing.
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you. So after reviewing the some model, then why I choose this, why I do that.
Yes. It would be so that the criticality would come out, and 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 page 54, page 54, you say therefore in the third paragraph, you say therefore below are some of many techniques to write English tests. I appreciate that you review English tests, but what is the point of reviewing so many things? So do you use them all in your study?
Actually, no, but I just reviewing this test because I want to get some ideas for designing the.
So that would be a bit too descriptive. I mean, you should have a clear purpose why you review particular points in your study. All right.
Yes.
Many technique, because you can write a whole book on language testing, and then what is the point of reviewing so many things here? That is the reason why I asked you here. All right. And page. Okay. Okay, I think that would be all for chapter 1 to chapter 3.
Thank you very much, Achan. Very,
Okay.
very.
Thank you, Dr. Gulabha. So I think next, I have quite a few questions or comments. Okay. I think from you did mention even before the Viva began about the language. Okay, so I think that you need to correct quite a lot of grammatical mistake scattering all over the 6 chapters you have written. Okay, for example, I'd like to go to page 7. Okay, let's go back to chapter 1. Page 7, 1.4, rationale of the research. You start with several reasons for conducting this research, right? So that's not a complete or full sentence. So there should be like, there are several reasons. And then the last sentence of that paragraph, right? The teacher training package was decided to design and develop. So there are some. I think I would call those mistakes mostly careless mistakes. If you go through that, you need to reread again and then rewrite and then correct those grammatical mistakes. Okay. Another word that I feel a little bit uncomfortable with is the word significant problems. Yeah, I would like to ask you to change the word, the 3 significant problems, change that to the 3 main problems. Okay, because the word significant is like it has connotated with something statistical. Okay, so just change significant to main problems. I think that is something not too difficult to do. Okay, and then the page 10. Okay, page 10, 1.7, 1.7 significance of the research, like below paragraphs also. Okay, change that. Okay, that's not correct. And then the same page, still significance number 3. Significance number 3. The package as well as OBAs can be adapted to design training activities for teachers of other fields, right? For teachers of other fields.
Do you want me to?
No. Go to page 12. Go to page 12. Right? When you say something about limitation, right? Line 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 4. It might not be appropriate to use for training teachers with different problems and teachers of other fields. So in one of the significances you said it can be used for with teachers of other fields, but here one of the limitations you said it might not be appropriate with teachers of other fields. So it is contradicting. Okay, you are contradicting yourself. So choose one. Choose whether it is one of the significances or it is one of the limitations of your study. You got my point, right?
You mean, Ajahn, this one you said that I mentioned contradicts? Yes?
Yeah. On page 10, on page 10.
Yeah.
You go back to page 10, right? significance number 3.
I mean, the package of as well as OBAs can be adapted to design. OBAs can be adapted to design for other training activities. Or maybe the package, I should delete this one. But this one, of course, is correct. Again, this one, the limitation, because this training, I mean, my training package is only for training English teacher, but not teacher of other fields. That's correct in the limitation. But this is wrong, Ajahn. It is wrong in the number 3 because the package cannot, but OBAs can be adapted for designing the package of other fields. So sorry, Ajahn, it's wrong. You are right. Thank you. Yes, you are right.
Okay. And then on page 12, okay, the last sentence of the limitation before 1.9, page 12, last line. Okay. And only 12 participants were purposefully selected to be population representatives. So what? You need to continue. So what? What happened when only 12 participants were not randomly selected, right? So so the results, usually the results are not generalizable, right? So that could be stated as one of the limitations. So the question is, so what? You know, after the last line, the participants were not randomly selected. Yeah.
Ajahn, so do you want me to explain or what here?
Just add another sentence.
Oh.
So the results, because the subjects are not randomly selected, the results of this study are not generalizable. Okay. For chapter 2, I think I agree with Dr. Asharawan and Dr. Gulapak. Most of the students actually do not recognize the importance of chapter 2. But in fact, it is very important. Okay, chapter 2. I think the point is for you to try to connect chapter 2 with chapter 4, chapter 5, or chapter 6. Okay, so that in that way, the results and discussions could become much more interesting. So, but in this case, in general, you did a good job in chapter 2, okay, but you still lack the connection between chapter 2 and the other chapters. Okay, I think that's the main point. And then another point is when you after reviewing each section, you need to summarize or synthesize, okay, and then connect each section to your study. For example, okay, page 64, okay, page 64. Yeah, 664. Before that, right? You the bottom, on the bottom of page 63. On the bottom of page 63, you said the results of 5 studies. Okay, you review 5 studies. The results of 5 studies above show that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then continue to page 64. Line 2. However, The unsuccessful implementation of the OBE were inappropriate environment. The causes of unsuccessful implementation of the OBE were inappropriate environments, lack of materials, and incompetence to use OBE. However, some participants, what do you refer to? Who do you refer to? Some participants, right?
Oh, I should write the specific names.
I don't know. Some
Yes.
probably some scholars or some authors or what still believe that using OB approaches could enhance the creativity of teachers and could change the way of teaching and learning.
Okay.
Then you can continue another sentence with these studies attempts to find out, right? To find out whether the use, the employment of or the implementation of OB approaches could actually enhance teachers or things like that. So this is just one example of how to connect what you review to your own study. Don't just review something and then finish it. I think I like this paragraph because you try to summarize it, but you should also connect that to your study because you finish with some participants still believe that using OB can be good, can be useful, right?
Yes.
And then you finish with that. So you just finished abruptly. So you should continue with this study attempts to do what? In that way, you can connect what you have reviewed to your own study. Okay. That's the general point. Okay. Also, I agree with what Dr. Kulopat said. When you said you selected this and that, and then you need to justify a little bit. You try, I think, but still not very convincing. You can justify the selection, right? You selected this, you selected that, because just maybe 2 or 3 sentences to justify your selection. Okay.
You mean in the writing, Ajahn, not in my presentation. In the writing, yes. Why I select that?
Yeah. Like Kirkpatrick model, right? Why Kirkpatrick model? Okay. Why Kirkpatrick? Why Eddie or things like that? Page 20, on page 20. the line 4, right? The paragraph on line 4. Therefore, the hand-on method or hands-on training and coach. I was lost. What with the word coach? First, why is that in the capital letter, right? I don't get it there. Okay. And coach was selected as a training method for this training program since the training needs training participations to gain the competency to use OBAs. Okay. Moreover, OBA for designing lesson plan was selected. So not very convincing, why the competence to use OBAs and then why OBA was selected. And also the word coach, you need to explain that. I don't know why is that in capital letter. Okay. Mark this paragraph. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. On page 26. On page 26. 2.2.1.1.6, right? After the revisions of models above, the backward design model was adapted. Whose model is that? The backward design model? Because I think you reviewed 4, right? 4 models. But is that Cuba or Spady or whose model are you talking about, right? The backward design model. The backward design model. So whose model is that, right? Because you before that you
So in this Ajahn suggest me to put the like inside citation. Yeah. Whose model?
you review 4 models, right? The first one Richard, the second one Grave, the third one Richard, the third one Richard, and the third one Richard, right? And then Huber and Fried, and then Spady. So for 5 models, but you the backward design model was adapted. I don't get it. The backward design model and was adapted. If you use the word adapt, you need to explain how you adapt that. Okay. So just mark that. Okay, mark that, and then see how you can modify or make it clearer.
Okay, I will, Ajahn. Thank you.
And figure 8 at the bottom of that page. Maybe I am wrong, but that figure looks to me like a forward design, not backward design. Can you explain that?
It start from the it is backward. Yeah, it start from the big one, the syllabus. It start from the outcome of the syllabus is bigger than the unit outcome, learning outcome, and task outcome. So backward, it means they start from the ending outcome. The ending outcome. The ending outcome is the syllabus outcome in this case. Then they plan. They make the, like in OBA, you can see enable outcomes, like the smaller outcomes, like unit outcomes, lesson outcomes. Here are the enable outcomes, and the discrete outcome, like the task outcome. So it comes from like this. But this means the ending outcome, backward outcome. They start from ending, biggest outcome. I don't know how I put to correct word. The ending outcome, the biggest outcome. That's why they decide backward to smallest outcome. And they decide from the smallest outcome when they decide.
Okay. I think that's it for me for all the questions and comments. Okay, for chapters 1 and 2. I think all the members still leave chapter 3, right? I don't know. So at this point, I would like to ask invite Dr. Navamin to ask questions or give comments on chapter 3. Dr. Navamin,ครับ.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Take care and be modern.
Dr. Navamin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to invite you to ask questions or give comments on chapter 3.ครับ.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajahn. Before we go to chapter 3, okay, and then may I add some, okay, in chapter 2, when you write previous study, okay, under 2.3, คุณหลักไกสอนได้ 2.3, okay, from page 60 onwards, okay, until before we go to chapter 3, okay, I would like to ask you, how did you present your previous study?
Sorry, Ajahn, could you?
How did you present? How did you present your previous study or related studies under 2.3 on page 60. Did you present it?
Let it.
Yeah. How?
What do you mean about how?
Because here I saw that the year, okay, you did not rearrange the year, but you focus on the thing that you would like to. Just like, for example, on page 61, when you talk about using OBE in teaching and learning, and in the first paragraph, you present the previous study of Bush, right, and OBD 2004, and then paragraph 2, you mention occur at all 2012, and then paragraph 3, you mention Beth, right, 1994. Just why I asked you, okay, how did you present? According to what?
Why do I use this?
Yes. Why don't you present 1994 first and then 2012? That's why I asked you. You have your reasons.
Oh. No, I actually I don't think about this again. Maybe I am very uneven one. That's why I just put the data that the review that related to the teaching and learning. I don't think about the year. That's why maybe it's better if I reorganize this. Start
Yes, right.
2004 and 12. I don't think about this when I wrote. I just focus on this one for teaching and learning. Then I put them together.
Or you just file first,
Yeah, and put them.
letters, something like that.
I didn't think about the year.
Okay, so you have to reorganize. Okay, you're writing, okay, under 2.3, 2.3.1, 2.3.2,
Yes.
and then 2.3.3, okay, or 0.4 or something like that. Go to chapter 3. This is the key things, okay. I think the thing that you will let's on this one. Okay, so I would like to argue, okay, about the methodology, and then because now I try to understand it, but if you could reorganize according to the phase is better, because now we don't know how many participants were used in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, or something like that, right? Because some I found the numbers of the participant in chapter 4, for example, students, right? When
Yes.
I finished reading chapter 3, I cannot see how many students, okay, did you use for phase 4, and then I found, okay, in chapter 4, okay, there are 64, right? 64. But I wonder, when you make the discussion and you refer to the percentage of the number of the students who passed, okay, with the English test according to the training teacher about OBAs, right? I'm not sure how many students are there. So, okay, I would like to ask you, okay, about how many phases are there, and then how many participants, okay, in each phase, right? Okay, and instrument too. Can you clarify and tell us about that?
Actually, I only the participants here. I only focus on the page 4. Page 4, Ajahn, the participant here. I didn't mention about page 1. Page 1 analyzing, I use the teachers who are teaching in the secondary school. Actually, I interview more than 20. But let's say I say that 20 teachers I interviewed before I got those 3 problems. Yes, 20 teachers. But I didn't mention here in analyzing phase. But in design and development phase, no participant, only me and Adan and curriculum specialist. I did mention that who helped me checking when I develop all those things. And in the pilot part, only 4 only. Pilot 4. What's it? 4. Only 4, but 2 assistants in pilot part. And then the participant I mentioned here, only in part, the implementation part in part 4. 2 training assistants, 12 in-service teacher or English teacher from the secondary schools, and 64 students only in phase 4. That I wrote here. So, Ajahn, what is your suggestion then to make it better? Maybe I didn't include everything here. I only mentioned in phase 4 for the participant here.
Sorry, may I cut in, Dr. Navamin ครับ
ครับ
just go to page 74, okay? Page 74. Page 74. You see page 74?
Yes.
Okay. So 3.3, when you describe research participants or research on the subjects, right? You mentioned the first line, 3 groups.
Yes.
2 training assistants, 12 English teachers, and students.
Yes.
Here is the place where you should put the number of students. Okay. 64 students of 2 classrooms, right? Because you give the number of training assistants, there are 2. And then you give the number of English teachers, there are 12.
Yes.
But when you come to students, you don't give the number. So just put and 6 for students.
Oh, I see.
And the next page, on the next page, page 75, you have students there, right?
Yes.
You have students there, 3.3.3.
Yes.
Students of 2 classrooms were chosen purposely. Also, here you need to describe more details that the students are divided into 2 groups, right? The students are divided into 2 groups, one with the OBE, another group without OBE. And then you need to describe also in other phases, you know, like how many were involved in the interview, you know, things like that, you know, like if in some study there are questionnaire, then how many students, things like that. So you need to describe this. If not earlier, then this is the place where you should describe about the subject profiles in details. Okay, I think I don't know if that is what Dr. Navamin would like to say. Please continue, Dr. Navamin.
Okay, thank you very much. This one, okay, and then I would like to ask, okay, our committee about the pilot study, because pilot study is under development. I mean that phase 5 development. So it means that you pilot it. So sorry, pilot 5. Okay, sorry. Oh, sorry. Pilot study is under phase 3. Should we move pilot study here or not, or just separate? Just put in the back of chapter 3. Okay, this is the thing that I would like to consult with the committee, right? And then Lakason, please tell me about the step of collecting the data of the very important phase. Okay, I mean that phase
Before,
five, right? Five or four, 5 and 4, right? 5 and 4, 4 and 5, right? Please tell us about that.
yes, Ajahn, thank you. For collecting the data, so on the instruments here, used in this training, yes. So the test, I talk about the test. I use the pre-test before training. This pre-test contain the knowledge of OBA and the whole 4 modules in the package. Yes, it used 4 hours. Yes, it's 4 hours test, very long that. And yeah, for the result training. Then after each module, I train 4 modules. After each module, I organized one test. I conducted one test. So for ending module test, I call that. And at the end of the training, I again give the post test. It is for evaluating the result of the training. Yes. And in this test, I don't, what is it? This test is not for testing the knowledge, but I ask them to decide. Flexible, decide the content for teaching, decide lesson plan, and decide the test. They all must be alike. So this one, the test. You get it, Ajahn? The test.
Okay,
content.
this is for
result.
Right, phase 4, right? So you did it, right?
Yes.
Okay, and how about phase 5?
I not yet. Not yet. Can I explain on of the instrument? First?
I mean phase 5 evaluation.
Phase 5. Phase 5 in my phase 5 it means I analyze the data and write the result. I evaluate the test. Evaluate the test. The test was evaluated by me. I evaluated the test that I got, and 2 training assistants. We help each other. Not only me check the test, but 2 assistants also help me checking. Then we compare the score. The same, we check this test based on the topic that we have. Then when we have the different score, then we start.
Okay. Okay, and how about the student? Did you give them the pre-test and then post-test, or just only?
The student, maybe I would like to explain this. The student only 2 classes that they learn the same. But one, Ajahn, I would like to explain to Ajahn Chilasak also. Maybe I will explain more in the participant. Because only 2 class. The first lesson we use OBA. The second lesson we thought we don't use OBA. Then the tests were created. One test for OBA test and one test for not OBA, but the same classroom, but using OBA and not using OBA. Yes, the test, this one given by the teachers who teach, in-service teacher, I mean, they taught the classroom and they gave them the test. And then they check the test and we check again one more time. Do you understand what I say? Ajahn? For the result of learning, the result of testing, English test.
Oh, so okay. So there are 2 groups different the same group. The students, I mean the students.
Yes, 2 groups.
2 groups, right? Okay. So did you give them the pre-test and then post-test?
Don't give them the pre-test. No.
Or you just give them the test, right?
The test, when we use OBA, we give them one test. When we don't use OBA, we give them another test. So 2 tests.
Because I wonder, because this is the last question that you have to answer the question So I think it seemed to me that it's not reliable. That's why I asked you, because you want to
Give free test.
answer the question number 4, right? It's about the students' improvement.
But I only gave the test when we use OBA. I want to know if they get the result, good result or not. Actually, they get very high result after. Yeah, but we don't know actually. We don't know what not they get this knowledge before or not because I didn't.
And are they at the same level of English proficiency?
Yes, the same.
How do you know? Because you did not mention in the criteria for that.
Because this classroom word test before entering the class, the summer course, they took the test before entering the class. They organize like beginner class, elementary class. They organize based on the knowledge of students.
Okay. Okay. Please tell me about how did you qualify? Okay, the instruments.
These instruments have been used.
How were the instruments very dated?
These instruments have been used in the pilot study already. Yes, so it's practical and then okay. So after I eating, then I send Ajahn also check for me. I mean, and also the colleague.
Okay, so you mentioned that you look for the validity and reliability, but I cannot see the reliability. Reliability refer to when you pilot or try out with the numbers and then you look for the reliability. For example, if you really want to look for the reliability of questionnaire, you have to look for reliability in terms of alpha of Conrad. And then the second one, if you look for the reliability of the test, but the test is okay because it's when I take a look, it's no need to look for the reliability because reliability we use for KR20 and KR21 just only multiple choice. But okay, when you mention here, I think that you can mention just only the validity. Okay, cut out the reliability because you did not look for the reliability, right? Because we cannot find it. All of the instrument, and then who were your experts? How many?
One for checking, but also the assistant also helped me checking the I mean after I adapt after the pilot, I adapt the questionnaire or everything for observation. Then the 2 training assistants also help, and the curriculum specialist also my professor.
In general, okay, like I said, in general, when you want to validate the instrument in terms of validity, we have to use at least 3 experts. But it seemed to me that you use just only 1 expert, right?
I did more than right.
And the other 2 are you and your major advisor, right? Okay. So
my advisor and specialist and 2 training assistants who are the trainer here also. Do you think I should write that again? Put that in the letter?
I may talk with your advisor, right, about that. How can we add or something about this one? And then I want to know who were the teachers of 2 classes. I assume that with BA is the one of your participants. And how about without OBA teacher?
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. That's one thing that I missed. Actually, I didn't care. I think you won't catch me. Okay, for the in-service teachers who I trained use OBA, yeah, taught OBAs and we test. But the other teachers that I didn't mention here, who taught without OBA because they didn't train, but we organize, we know the lesson, and they are teaching. Then we create the test. We create the test and get them to test for us. Yes, but that one, those teacher who teach without OBA is not the teacher attending the training. That's the truth. I didn't mention him.
And how many teachers
Only two.
were in each classroom? It seemed to me that there are more than one.
Because when we practice using OBA, everyone actually want to teach, they want to join, but only four were active. Two classrooms, two per one classroom, they take turn to teach, they share when they taught using OBA. But when not using OBA, only one teacher in class.
So you have to mention, right, when you implement them by teaching, how many teachers
Yes.
there in each classroom, and how did you select it? How did you select? Because when you present, okay, the results with the photo on page 100, it seemed to me that you use they is mean many, more than one people, right?
Yes, more than one. Four.
And then chairman mentioned, when you talk about research participants, you have to mention the reason, to give the reason if you select them by purposive sampling.
Yes.
But if you use volunteer, it's no need to mention. But here you mention that you select them purposively, so you have to give the reason why. Okay, for example, for the training assistant, two of them, so you have to mention what are the criteria that you use to choose them, right? Okay, and 12 secondary school teacher as well. You mentioned using purposive sampling. You have to give the reason, right? The reason. Okay, so the first one, for example, they must blah, 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 something like that. And then you separate them into 3 groups, right? This is the first criteria, right? Or who teach blah, 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 something like that. And what another criteria, right? Okay, so you just mentioned 4, something like that. And then and how many students are in each class? You mentioned 2 classes.
64.
64.
But not the same.
In each
but
class.
Not the same in each class. Not the same.
22, 32.
Each class. One class seems 36. I couldn't remember, but the class not the same number, different numbers.
So you have to mention, because but you mentioned on page
in the finding, yes. Finding, I mentioned.
Yeah.
No, I mentioned the whole number.
You mentioned on page 104 there are 64. So
yes.
I just want to know how many students are in each class.
The 2 class, I mean 64, because I presented the whole, the 2.
How about class 1? How many?
I couldn't remember, Ajahn. I'm sorry. Maybe it's in the raw data. 36. I couldn't remember because I think I will present two class together. I will send according to grade. That's why I don't compare between the class with the
Okay,
class.
ลาให้สอน I know that you mentioned about 64 but when you present the result it seemed to me that each class contain 64
Oh,
64 and class B 64 when you present the results so just why I don't I ask you okay on page 105 can you take a look 105 when you present the result
yes,
with the classroom with OBAs
yes.
and without OBA when I calculate okay grade A B C D classroom with OBAs equal 64 and classroom without OBA 64 as well.
อาจารย์
I wonder.
Yes. Because I use OBA in teaching these two class 64 students. Then I didn't use OBA. We didn't use OBA for teaching these two class, the same two class,อาจารย์ But this time we teach one lesson with OBA and one lesson without OBA teaching these two class. You get it, อาจารย์
No.
It means these two class is our participant. But the first time that we taught them with OBA, then we test. Then the second time, another teacher that I didn't mention, I'm sorry, and another teacher that they didn't come to train. But we create the test. We got the content of the lesson. We create the test and we gave them the test after they taught one lesson. These two classes.
So it means that you teach
Yeah.
just only one class.
Yes. Only two
For the
class.
first time without OBA.
The first time with OBA. The first time with OBA. The second time without OBA. You got it, Ajahn?
I got it, but now I'm thinking about that because the time, okay, just quite close, so maybe it can be affected.
Oh.
Argue at the beginning, they are at the same level of English for proficiency or not. How did you know that? Okay, so this is what we
The first one was done 1 week, yes. The other was done another week. Yes. Without OBA in the following week, not the week of the training. But I observed and I gave them the test. The teachers, Ajahn Suli gave the test, but he didn't attend the. I just want to compare the result, yeah, of using OBA and not using OBA. That's why I just gave the test. But the one who taught, the teacher who trained and not trained.
What do you want to see from them?
I just want to compare the results when using OBA and not using OBA.
No, I mean that what you want to evaluate. You want to evaluate about the effects of OBA by using the learning outcomes. What do you mean by learning outcomes?
Learning outcome here, it means the students' performance, the score, the test. Because
So it means that the test, right?
yes,
The score of the test
yes,
indicate about the effects of OBA.
yes. Do you?
Did you use the grade, not the score?
The score and the grade, it shows.
Full score. What is the full score of English test?
50 score, Ajahn.
50. And how but why did you use grade instead of the score?
Oh, because I think the grade and score is similar, but here I don't know. Here in the result, you can see grade A 90 to 100%. It's, what is it? We count the grade A. This one, it's similar.
Okay, okay, I understand. So when you analyze the data, you have to make it clear. For example, when you analyze the score from the students, right? You have to mention that you use the percentage and compare with the criteria, which criteria you use for A, B, C, D, something like that. Because you did not mention in chapter 2, in chapter 3, when you analyze the data, you use just only the descriptive analysis or content analysis, right? And mean score or something like that. So
You mean
to mention
the percent? What percent grade A, what percent grade B, grade C, or like this, Ajahn?
Yes, if you really want to use, you have to mention in chapter 3, okay, the percentage of the score that you convert from 50 score to 100. Okay, can you get it? Okay, and then the another one, when you analyze, because I want to link it, when you analyze the data to answer the question number 1, or you mentioned about that the reaction in terms of confidence, okay, and in terms of strong and weak aspects. Okay, how do you know that this one, okay, they are confident at the high level or highest level or something like that, that you present in chapter 4, because you did not mention in chapter 3 when you analyze the data? How do you know, and which criteria that you represent the confident at the high, at the low, or something like that, or weak or strong?
Okay, for question 1, behavior, yeah, in terms of confidence. Confidence here, I assume, let me say I assume, the confidence we got from the test that we have them design, no? Yes, sorry. And the second one, I assume from the behavior or the performance that they did in the classroom. When I saw these 2 performance, yes, and then I just asked them after these 2, yeah, I asked them how you feel it. You feel confident to use it or not? They said, yes, I feel very confident. Then I don't believe only the word, but we can see the result. The result from the test and the result from their performance in the classroom. If they could, yeah, that can show that they're confident.
Okay, so I have to consult with Dr. Gop, right? Because she is very in qualitative way. Okay, how to interpret by using content analysis, but okay, what are the criteria to see that, okay, this is confident or not confident, or positive or negative behavior, or in the weak or strong point, something like that. Okay. So, okay, like I said, for chapter 3, you should make it clear, okay, when you, if you want to focus on phase 4 and 5, okay, because not, when you present the research participant on page 74, it seemed to me that you use, okay, them in all phases.
Oh, I see that. I have to clarify.
Or it seemed to me that you use it in phase 5 only. So just why we wonder when we rate it, okay, we cannot follow it, right? Okay, and then you have to mention about especially for the for the analysis, right? Analysis, data analysis, to make it clear, because it can help you to answer the question, and then it's okay, because you try to separate each instrument, although it's the same. For example, you separate interview of with teacher, interview with students, something that you separate, and then you talk about pre-test and the for ending module test, and then the post-test, and then the English test for students. But one thing that I wonder, I'm curious to know, the pre-test, the four ending module test, and post-test are the same or different?
No, not the same, but very similar. My advisor, me, and curriculum specialist also, they were the same. The content were similar, yeah, but we use different content. Testing the same, but different content. For example, for designing the task, we use different tasks, but the same aim for designing the task. Like this,
Okay.
The same score, the same, nearly the same content, but we change a little bit. That's that.
Okay, so this one, and then don't forget when you mentioned on page 18 in terms of constructing, I think that you did not test the reliability, so you cut it off. You look for just only validity, right? And for participants in the pilot study, can help you to look for the reliability, right? Do you understand that I mean? So just only validity, right?
So what I should do?
You have to cut reliability.
Okay.
Not.
I have to. That's right. I have to write in the methodology part. You mean?
No, you just in terms of can please take a look on page 80 when you mention at the end before you go to 4.3.4.10 in terms of construction, validity and reliability of the researcher design. So you have to cut reliability, just only validity.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you did not mention about reliability. And then, the last question for me for chapter 3, okay, because the number of the samples of participants just not many, just only 12. Okay. Why did you use t-test? Why not another one?
Sorry, Ajahn, could you repeat the question again because it's not quite.
Oh, I asked you, okay, when you compare the pre-test and post-test score, right?
Yes.
Because the number of participants are quite small. Why did you use t-test?
T-test?
Yes.
T-test, not t-test. Why I use t-test? You
Yes.
say?
Why don't Wilcoxon or another one?
Oh, because you mean pre-test, Y-test, post-test? Why I use that with very small number?
Yes, because the number is quite small.
Yeah. Because I don't want to use another test because the aim is I would like to know their performances. For example, pre-test, can they use OBA?
Okay, like I said, okay, stop for a while. You compare, right, the pre-test and post-test, look for the significant difference between pre and post, or before the treatment and after treatment, by by using, okay, the statistic. Then I ask you, why did you use t-test? Because the participants, the number of participants are quite small, just only 12. Why don't you use Wilcoxon rank test? Did you test the normality?
Normality.
Yes. That the assumption, you assume that they are normal or not.
Don't understand about the statistics. That's why I confuse, Ajahn. I just want to compare their performance of
Who help you to analyze the data in terms of
Ajahn Anand. Ajahn Anand. That's the other for helping me. Actually, I really have the problem of the statistics. I just want to compare the knowledge or the performance of them before and after. But I am not very good at the statistic actually, but really I want to compare the score, the mean score. You know, Ajahn, the first time I used percent, I used score and percent because I couldn't friend that. But then when I use pair, sample.
but if you use the percentage, you can use chi-square, right?
Yeah, I put that.
Yeah, but actually it can be both. You can use with t-test and then with Wilcoxon, but if you want to use t-test, you have to test the normality first. Is it normal curve or not? Okay, we have the statistic or the SPSS to check it. If it's normal, you can use t-test. If it's not normal, you can use Wilcoxon. So that's why I asked you, right? About that. And then we will talk later when you present in chapter 4. Okay, we may what is it? We may change some words, technical terms.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I spend much more time on chapter 3. Okay, thank you. Sorry about
Okay, thank you, Dr. Navamin. I think there are quite interesting questions. Okay, and then now it's 11:35, so we go halfway. Okay, we are going to finish at about 1 o'clock. So be prepared. Okay. Another half of the time is coming. Maybe more questions and more comments.
And discussion and suggestion.
Next one. I like to invite Dr. Acharawan krab. Are you still there, Dr. Acharawan krab?
Okay, thanks, Ajahn. Okay, I would like to just some points. Okay, now to reconfirm about the reliability issue. Ajahn Naomin mentioned like to delete mention something about the validity, right? Okay. So firstly, in terms of the research design, in your opinion, what exactly is your research design?
I think it's experiment, Ajahn, because I developed a training package, then I use it for training, and I think it's experiment design.
Okay, so and what is the nature of the experiment?
I think it's mixed method because I use both qualitative and quantitative, but mainly I think it's qualitative one more than quantitative, but I still use the statistics like those statistics. That's why I think I use mixed method.
Method, okay.
Yeah.
Did you look at your study at action research?
Action research.
Did you consider that as a kind of the action research or not?
I think smaller than mine action research. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's smaller in action research. I give you that. It seems the same. Yeah, but this one seems big. Mine seems bigger. That's why I use like embedded, because all the faces were connected, a lot of faces. But actually, sir, my top part only some point. In my understanding, like that.
Okay. And may I ask how long did the process takes place? How long did the experiment takes place?
80
From
hours.
the beginning? I mean, from the first period until its end, until you finish the data collection. How long?
Wow, it takes long time actually, 1 year, because I started from the first phase, from analyzing the problems for the first phase, and then I wrote about that, and it takes long time for writing. And
On your page 71, figure 29, that's my question. How long did the whole process that you spent? Figure 29. 1 year, right?
yeah, about 1 year. This figure 29, this one, you mean the framework?
Yeah.
No, this framework is not the design. This one, doing this one only one process, one task. Yeah.
Okay. Then how long when you started train train the trainer until the end when you get the data result and then you get analysis?
80 hours. 80 hours. And I 2 months later, I went to school again to observe that I didn't count. And giving the test. Yeah.
So it means you took 2 semesters, right?
Yeah. The first time I trained them, I use OBA in the classroom. I collect those, everything. But after this training, I went to the secondary school again, and I interviewed them. So 2 months later, and
okay. The reason I asked about the time, the length of the time, I got a sense that the natures of your research can be regarded as kind of ethnographic research to me, because you spend some time in the area, you spend quite a long time with the participant, with the site, so that I am a little bit not quite certain about the nature, how you define your design. So that I ask, is this experiment, is this action research, or is it ethnography? Yeah. So because most of your data in chapter 5 and chapter 4 mostly are qualitative data, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Very small numbers, very small portions of the quantitative data, right? Just SD, just the very small part of that. Okay, thanks for that.
Thank you.
And now my next concern is about your relationship between you and the training assistant, okay, and the teacher, in service teacher. Now there are three sets of people, right? You. So could you tell us what is your role in this research? What is your role exactly? What did you do?
For the training, I am as a lot of role actually. I am as the what is it? The package designer. Yeah, I design the package, the training package.
Okay.
And also the trainer, the researcher, the designer, implementer, assessor. That's my duty. Yes, a lot.
Okay, so you are everything, right? You are the whole in one, right?
Yes, like
Okay.
that.
Okay, so then to what extent, I mean, your role and the roles of the training assistant overlap? Yeah, I'm not quite sure the responsibilities of the training assistant in the data collection process. How much did they get involved in collecting the data?
Oh,
Yeah, I try to visualize
yes.
the pictures of you as a researcher and the pictures of two training assistants in the classroom.
Yes.
How much, I mean, in terms of the involvement, in terms of the percentage that they get involved in that.
Yes. Thank you, Ajahn. The first time, yeah, these two training assistants involved in the pilot study, and they knew my package. They view all the things that I trained because these two, they were the trainer, the teacher trainer, or they had a lot of experience of doing in-service teacher training program. They involved in those, so they have experience working as the in-service teacher trainers and also pre-service teacher trainers. So they were in my pilot study. They review the package. I explained to them if they don't know OVA. Actually, they didn't know OVA. But when I explained, they were in the pilot study. They knew that, and they kept some comment, and we discussed, and we tried to fix everything together. Actually, everything here means the content of the package and the questions, observation, those things. They said that, oh, this is not good. It's not the point that you get something. I just changed, we discussed with that. And then after that, in the main pilot, not the main research, the implementation, they came, yeah, and help again. Yeah. So they knew OVA before. They knew when the time I sent them the book, and when they train, they know when because they were on the time with me 80 hours, and in the pilot study nearly 40 hours, 36 hours, I think. In the pilot study, they were with me, and we discussed about the content of the package. Yes.
Yeah. So
Your question.
I think now my understanding is clearer. I think from what you said, from what you explained, it would be very nice if you put in a diagram, right? You put in a timeline when each party, like you researchers, training assistant, or in-service teacher get involved in each timeline. That would be very clear. Yeah, when, what time, which month, which lesson, yeah, that each party get involved in each timeline. I think that would be very helpful.
So
Because now
okay, I can you first.
yeah, because now I kind of not really clear, like in terms of the overlapping role of you as a researcher and as the designers and advisor maybe of this project. So that when I read chapter 3 or the result, I kind of doubt of the reliability of the data. Yeah.
So you suggest me to make the diagram of my responsibilities in each.
Yeah. You need to really spell out the researcher position, spell out the researcher role in this project, so that I can see in what stage, in what area that you got involved, and how you refrain from being political, how you refrain not to interfere, or you know what I mean, right? Yeah, because how to at what point that you, because I know that you design the package by yourself. This is to my surprise too, right? So I thought the teacher designed the package by themselves. So this is something new, right? I thought the teacher design everything by themselves, right? Okay. So be clear on this part. Okay. Okay.
And also you want me to explain the role of the training assistants also?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, okay, I will.
And one other important point is I would like to reconfirm about your data analysis. How did you develop the coding system when you look at the interview data, when you look at the when you look at the how did what kind of coding system you get from from from
In this one, I just put the data into theme. I just picked the thing that related to the theme. When I listen, yeah, I just what they say. This one, they say this one refer to the confidence. This one they talk about useful. This one they talk about the suggestion, comment, or some big point. This one I just note the thing from interview and related to what according to its theme, theme
okay.
like that.
Yeah, because part of the data you got is from the interview, so I think you need a section in the data analysis. Okay, this section, how did you come up with the coding? How did you come up with the themes? Yeah, it's really important, and because this will be spelled out in your chapter 4, how many themes, how many topics emerge from the interview, right?
Themes.
Yeah, from the interview. When you measure the effectiveness of the OBA, when you measure the failure of the OBA, and when you talk about the opinion, the reflection, a diary, okay, of whatsoever. Okay, and how did you make use of your diary, please? How did you make use of your diary?
My diary, you mean? Okay, my diary. When I taught, I trained. When I train, I just observe their problems. Actually, I really want to edit the package again. I observe their problem, what problem. After at the end of the day, I just take note. And also, two assistants, they observe me. They observe my action, all by my performance, and student all the trainees' performance. Then they got some ideas, some problems that occurred during the training. And at the end of the day, we discussed a little bit about 30 minutes that, oh, you didn't do this well. This point you should do like this or like that. Then when we saw that, I just took note and write diary. Oh, this one I have problem. This one.
Yeah. I think La, what you just explained is very interesting. This is something I would love to see in the chapters, the dialogue, something that going on between you and
Every day.
I mean, not every day. I like to see how I mean the figure of the lively dialogue, or how that you make use of what you took note from your diary and apply that. So it seems like the chapter is a little bit in chapter 4. It's a little bit cut and dry for me, because it seems like there's no, I mean, it's like it's just okay, very straightforward. But I like to see how did something that happened behind that in terms of I don't know. I just feel like it's more
the way. Yeah, you mean I explain the way that I took note or I correct the data from daily, but what I found in that, what I do after that.
Yeah, and I think you can add some of your voices. You can add some of you when you do the discussion, because that the reason why you did the diary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the diary. We
Yeah, because
actually I did record the voice when we discussion. I just took note
yeah.
and I put the note in the finding if we want.
Okay. Okay, so
ครับอาจารย์ เชิญ advisor ครับอาจารย์ดรสิรินทร์
Just
ครับ
one thing to clarify, Ajahn Gops, when you mention about the package, actually La design only the training package. And then after that, for the lessons that the students, I mean the trainee use with their students, that they design the package by themselves. Yeah, La design only the training package.
Okay.
That's all, PP.
Okay, and to what extent that the teacher modify or from the training package? I mean, modify their lesson or whatever according to the package. Did you measure that or not? Did you look at that or not?
Yeah. Yes, for the result, for that result, they decide their own teaching contents.
Okay.
Yeah, the content, the lesson plan, and those things. Yeah, for the results.
Okay. Okay, maybe one last point. La on page 76, my last point in chapter 3. Table 5. Table 5, La.
What page, Ajahn? Sorry, I don't get that.
76. 76.
You know, I go to 26.
7 and 6.
My dear, Steve, already now. Okay, I saw that, Ajahn.
Table 5, I really don't get it, to be honest. What is that?
I got 2 tables there. You got, like I got. Actually,
Yeah. What is the number? Like 8. Observation. What is the difference? Yeah.
which page ครับดรอัชรวรรณครับ sorry which
Se-
page number
the first
76
time I want to explain that this the second table because I want to explain that this table is in appendix A, this table is in appendix 13, this table is in appendix 9. So I just
really I got lost, to be honest. I got lost in this table. I don't know the number or I don't see the difference of your
I will cut
Yeah.
this out, Ajahn, because this is for me, but I forgot to put it out, to take it out. I want to explain table that, oh, this table is in, Ajahn can see in appendix 8, for example. Ajahn can see in appendix 13, like this. But I forgot to put it out.
Okay.
I will cut it out, this one.
Okay ค่ะ
ครับดรกุลภาครับ your next ครับ please
Okay. Well, actually, I was about to ask about page 76 too, but you have answered that already for page 76. So my concern about your chapter 3 is the role of the researcher in the whole research. What is how, to what extent is the influence of the researcher? You know what I mean? To what extent? It seems to me that I agree with Ajahn Acharawan that your study is more quite like ethnographic in nature, and probably you have to clarify that point too about your role
Oh, yeah, I will, Ajahn.
in the whole research, because you seem to be there in every single step of the research, right?
Yes.
In the design of the training package, of course. And what about the 4 module ending test? Who wrote that? So you have to clarify this.
Oh, I will. It's in the chapter 3, yeah, role of researcher.
Yeah, in chapter 3 about your own influence on the research, because you get involved in every single step.
I will, Ajahn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you want me like I should write the role of researcher. in all the phases. Is it like that?
On the design, on the training package, on the implementation, for example, you have to clarify that clearly.
Lot of things for the whole month.
Yeah, so that would be all that I would like to comment about the influence of the researcher, because apparently this is more quite like an action research or something, or ethnographic study. Okay, that is all.
Thank you very much, Ajahn.
I guess next will be my turn. Um, in addition to the subject profiles, okay, which are still not very clear, okay, about the number of subjects, and also how you divide them, how do you choose, how did you divide them, how did you choose them? For example, how many were involved in the interview, right? How did you choose subjects for the interview, the subject profiles, and also the tests. The tests are quite crucial. When you design your own test, okay, the pre-test and the post-test, I think Dr. Nawamin mentioned about that. First thing is the reliability estimate. Usually by Kuder-Richardson formula 20 or KR20 need to be administered to measure reliability, because the instruments are quite crucial in terms of whether your study is valid or not. There are two ways, as Dr. Nawamin said. One is to delete the word reliability, okay. But if you still have the scores, I would prefer that you estimate, you measure reliability. If you do not have the scores, then the only way you can go is to delete the word reliability. Okay, that's the only solution. But anyway, there is a measure of validity. Okay, but if you do have the score, keep the scores, you use KR20 to measure reliability. That is better. But I would give you the choice. Okay, the whether which way is feasible at this point. Okay. Similar to the subject profiles, when you you need to describe all the tests in details. Okay, these are very important instruments. The pre-test and post-test, you need to describe how many parts in the test, how many items. You say 60 scores, right? But how many items are they all? Multiple choices, multiple choice items. Um, and then I'm not sure if Dr. Nawamin asked about that already or not, because the on page 80, you know, the pre-test and post-test, right? If they are different tests, you cannot just say they are similar. you need to explain why or how they are similar, the taste, right? Because there is an statistical process, you know, to measuring the I cannot remember exactly what it's called, but it's like half reliability and or parallel test, something like that. Usually, actually, the way to the easiest way to justify that the tests are similar is when you measure KR20 of the two tests, then in that way you can justify that you can equate the two tests, that the two tests are parallel. Okay. 3.4.10 on page 80, two English tests were designed by the in-service teacher to test two lessons. Please explain a little bit what you mean by two lessons. Okay, what two lessons mean, and then why two English tests? Why not only one? Can you answer, La? Why two English tests? Why not only one?
Yes, because the first test I used with when OBA were used for teaching. The second test I used to test why OBA were not used for teaching. That's why two tests.
Okay, then just explain about two lessons. Okay, at the end of that sentence, what you mean by two lessons?
Yes, I will.
On page 82, I think that table 6, okay, data analysis. I have the same question with Dr. Novamin. YT test, okay, I don't have. Actually, I am okay with that. But the two English tests, why descriptive statistics? You know, why just explain. You know, otherwise readers would be wondering why one you use t-test, but another you use descriptive statistics.
For me to explain the writing, yes, yeah. To add.
Yes. Okay. Chapter 3. Okay, I think I don't know if all of the members sometimes get lost reading chapter 3, but you are missing quite a lot of information that help link the you know the that function as missing puzzles for chapter 3. It is confusing because how you order each section, the sections in chapter 3. Usually, chapter 3 starts with subject profiles or research design. Either one is fine, you know. Research design followed by subject profiles, or subjects followed by research design, followed by research instruments. And after you mention all these three, subject, design, instruments, then followed by research procedure. In that way, when you mention anything, readers can follow and understand what you mean, you know, because in research procedure, it should be very detailed. In research procedure, then you mention about how you divide the subjects, how many subjects involved in each phase, you know, in each phase of your study, right? And what kind of instrument would be used. So the research procedure could be very detailed, and then readers will be able to follow and understand your research much better. Okay. That's my general comment for chapter 3. Okay. So I think at this time it's already 12:05, so we have about 1 hour left. I think I suggest we move to the rest of the thesis. Okay, so chapters 4, 5, and 6. I think all these chapters are more or less connected. Okay. Again, I would like to invite our external examiner, Dr. Navamin Krab.
Sorry, could I go to the toilet for a bit because I feel that she got to the toilet.
Okay. Okay. Is 2 minutes enough?
Oh, yeah, go to the toilet.
Okay. Okay, go lah, go. Okay. And then, okay, we wait for you.
Oh,
เป็นไงคะสาวล่า